Welcome back to RXMuscle's Iron Road to the Arnold Classic 2019, brought to you by Redcon One. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today's guest is one of the most popular classic physique pros out there. He'll be making his Arnold Classic debut this year. The man I'm talking about, Wesley Vissers. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you very much. It's been amazing to already have been interviewed with you multiple times. So, yeah. You know, I always watch RXMuscle, so to be on here is an honor for sure.
Thank you. Now, last year was a stellar year for you, obviously. You won the Chicago Pro. You went to the Olympia, your very first year as a pro. I know that was a huge honor for you. We talked about this prior to the Olympia, after your win also. And, you know, you seem to be one of the more popular classic physique guys out there. The Olympia didn't go quite the way you wanted. We haven't spoken to you since then. Walk us through what happened at the Olympia.
Well, basically, the shape we had at the Chicago Pro, still that wasn't even what we were capable of. So because we were allowed to weigh more, we still thought, even at the Chicago Pro, we didn't hit our weight limit. So we wanted to go for a full look at the Olympia without sacrificing too much conditioning, but then the peak had to be perfect. Yeah. So the problem was, it was my first time in Las Vegas. It's literally a desert compared to the desert. It's a very big difference. And honestly, I simply made the mistake of going there too early, enjoying the strip, never being there, walking around too much in the heat, and then peaking a few days early. So I basically peaked on a Wednesday already because I looked great in the gym when working out. Striations were showing everywhere. But then as the days went on to the show, I started looking worse and worse no matter what I did. Mm-hmm. So that's really what went wrong. Even though at the Olympia I still didn't make the weight limit, I didn't look nearly as good as I could look, and this time we are going to rectify that.
You know, when I did the USA Championships in 1996, I made the same mistake. I had never been to Vegas. I got out there, you know, a couple days early, and there was a convenience store down the block, and I didn't have a car, and I walked it must have been a mile. I didn't realize it. I lost 15 pounds in one day, you know, and it destroyed me. And because you just dehydrate and you don't even realize you're dehydrating, you know.
It's true. I have the same problem. It's because the air conditioning in all the hotels and the casinos is so strong. Yeah. Then you're comfortable, but you go outside and you sweat a lot, and I'll sweat a lot in general. So I probably lost a lot of water weight, and then my body held on to it, and it showed on stage.
Right. So going in, so what made? Let's first go. What made you decide to shoot for the Arnold Classic rather than wait a little longer?
Well, the Arnold Classic, I got an invitation, and basically, even right after the Chicago Pro itself, we already knew, okay, we are now capable of winning pro shows with this physique. Mm-hmm. So immediately, of course, we wanted to do the Olympia, but then the next best thing is the Arnold Classic. And often I am compared to Arnold himself. Right. So using this show and really scoring big on this show and being recognized by Arnold, the most famous bodybuilder of all time, would simply be an amazing dream come true. So for me, honestly, this show, emotionally, feels like a bigger show compared to Olympia for me. Because of the name, because of the history, and Arnold himself will be there awarding the prizes. So I definitely want to be the one receiving that prize.
Now, given the fact that you have been compared to Arnold, and I know you hit a lot of the classic Arnold poses, and you really do, physique-wise, you look like you could be a clone for him. Has Arnold ever reached out to you or anything like that, or any of his people reached out to you in terms of doing anything, you know, as far as video-wise or anything with Arnold? Have you had any interactions with him?
That hasn't happened yet, and that's why I'm even more motivated to go to the Arnold Classic to basically force him to see me.
That's right.
Force him to watch me pose on stage, and literally him seeing me hitting his poses. Right. And honestly, not a lot of people can hit his poses the same way that he can, and I'm confident that I can do it in his way. So if he sees that, I'm pretty sure he will notice it, and then something will probably happen after that.
Absolutely. And you have to go to the Arnold statue that Bob Goldman erected, you know, several years back, and you got to hit that twisting back shot there. You can pull that off.
It's one of my favorite poses, so I definitely will do that.
What would it mean to you if you won the classic, Arnold Classic International there, and Arnold actually had to hand you your trophy and interview you? Are you ready for that? I mean, are you ready to be interviewed by Arnold?
Yeah, that's really, you think you're ready for it, but I'm pretty sure that at the moment you're anything can happen. It's like that would be a dream come true for me, to be standing face to face with Arnold and him recognizing you as the winner. Then that's just going to be amazing. I'm not sure if I'm ready for it, but I'll do my best to make that happen. For sure.
Wesley, let me see you hit the twisting back shot again. I like to see that. It looks like not as good as mine, of course, but
Yeah.
Well, all right, so let's talk about some other stuff, because I love your clothing line. I think the vintage clothing line that you came out with, you talked about it last year. I know you've been doing very well with that line. Have you expanded the line in terms of new, styles and new, you could say, logos and stuff like that?
Yeah, basically, so our Vintage Genetics line is all about the old school bodybuilding, the classic way of dressing in the gym. So
Sure.
Nothing too fancy. So now, after already having been selling for almost 2 years, we realized what kinds of clothing people want to see most. So what we have done is now we bought a big batch of the clothing that people like. For example, the classic sleeveless shirts with the rag tops,
Sure.
and stuff like that. We will get those custom made in high quality, different colors with all kinds of slogans on there that we experience that people really like. So the quality will be even better, but the pricing will be the exact same, because that's very important. I don't want to be too high priced, because people will simply not buy it. We've tried it once. Most of the people who watch my content simply aren't old enough yet to spend that kind of money, especially when it's now still has to be sent overseas to America. So, if you take that into account, the price has to be reasonable, but it can be if you buy in large quantities, which we're able to do now, thanks to people who support buying the clothing right now. So we're continuously investing in the company. It's growing and growing, and I'm, very fortunate that I'm able to live off of this Vintage Genetics brand right now, living my passion.
Is it supporting you right now? Are you doing that well with it?
Yeah, basically
That's
the
awesome.
combination of the YouTube channel, the Vintage Genetics brand, the clothing, and the coaching plans and the nutrition plans that I do, I'm able to live, support myself with all of that, for sure.
Love it. I love to hear entrepreneurship at the most basic level of bodybuilding. What's the website where people can get the clothing?
VintageGenetics.com.
Oh, that's easy enough. Now, I understand you're also coming out with a supplement line. When's that being launched?
And that's actually pretty new in the works, but we are indeed working on a supplement line. As an athlete who has done the Olympia, you always get a lot of sponsorships, sponsorship contracts sent over your way with different companies. But, it's difficult for me to accept that, because I want to keep it of my own. So with the supplement line, I am going to work together with someone who can invest in the company, but it will be our own company, but he will simply be investing in it, and it will be partly Gladiator and Vintage Genetics. That's going to be, kind of the name of it.
Gotcha.
But the most important thing is that I will be the one deciding what the ingredients will be, the ratios will be, what kind of supplements they will be, and that to me is the most important aspect, so that I won't be taking supplements from a different company and then promoting them. No, I'm promoting what I believe in, just like with the clothing.
Gotcha. It sounds like you're very business oriented, very early on in your career. Is this something that always interested you, business, or is this something that you've been mentored by another person to do?
It's not really that I've been mentored by it, but back when I was younger, I never knew what I wanted to do. Working for a boss was never for me. I did it for a little while, just working on the side, and I hated it. So right now, I'm investing as much time as possible to avoid ever having to do that. So I my own thing and make as much money doing my own thing as possible while enjoying it. And that's why I simply love making more and more steps towards a bigger brand. Basically, that's what I love to do.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now this year for the Arnold, I talked to you before the show. You said you're going to be really, I guess your weight limit is about 247 pounds. You're going to be right at the top of that limit, which would imply to me at least that you added muscle since the Olympia.
Yeah, I definitely added muscle. I actually did some DEXA scans, which is a slightly more accurate way of measuring your body mass, your fat mass and muscle mass. And when I compare it to the Olympia, the legs literally did gain like at least 2 pounds of muscle. So that's what I can literally tell off of those DEXA scan results. And at the same time, the fat mass is lower. So basically I shifted the muscle upwards and the fat downwards. So I definitely gained some muscle mass, but we will come in better conditioning for sure.
Well, if people want to follow you on Instagram, what's your Instagram handle?
At Wesley Vissers.
Okay. And how many followers you up to now?
It's close to 160,000 on Instagram, and
wow.
I believe close to 320,000 on YouTube.
That is incredible. When I hear those numbers, I get jealous because I put a lot of time into my YouTube, and
yeah.
you got some great following, and you got, but it is, you got a very young probably viewership. I'm sure a lot of young guys look up to you. They say, hey, look, here's a young guy. If he can do it, I can do it, and I think that you're inspirational to those people.
That's true. What I read in the comments and the feedback that I get is that they thank me for motivating them to work on their own physique, because they do see that I'm this young, that I've achieved this already by this age. So they are inspired and motivated to do the same thing, which in turn motivates me to keep creating content. So it's a win-win situation.
Right. Are you when you're like in grocery stores and you go to like shopping malls or little stores there in Amsterdam, are you recognized a lot now? Do people know who you are?
Basically, I'm recognized in almost every single gym I ever go to, especially in the Netherlands. But to my surprise, also in the UK and even America, when I step into a gym, there's always someone who either snaps a picture of me and then puts it on Instagram later on, so they never talk to me, or they talk to me right there. But that's on the street, not so much. That's rare. Only when I wear a tank top in the summer, then people will either go to you because you look like that, or they recognize you because of the muscles. But mostly in the gyms, they do recognize me.
Well, and that's always that validates you right there. Validation is important for bodybuilders because it makes you feel like you're doing the right thing.
That's true. That's true. It feels very good. Yeah.
Well, Wes, it's great to talk to you again. Looking forward to seeing you up on that stage. I really hope that you make that top group and challenge those guys. Obviously, I would just love to see Arnold interview you, just because of the fact that you do have that resemblance and your physique really resembles him. You hit all the poses. I think it would be a really great interview. It would probably be one of the more entertaining aspects of the whole weekend.
Yeah, I think so too. So I'm gonna make sure to make that happen for you guys. Yeah.
Good luck. Have a safe flight, and we'll see you in Columbus, Ohio.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Always nice to have an interview with you. And, good luck with RXMuscle yourself.
Thank you so much. And guys, that's going to take us to the end of another episode of RXMuscle's Iron Road to the Arnold Classic 2019. I'm Dave Palumbo. We'll see you next time.